Hello everyone. So I wanted to give the new knitters out there who are hoping to knit some start receiving nuts, walnuts and stuff. um, some tips about what you want, how you want to go about learning how to knit. Some tricks of the trade that will make the experience a lot easier for you, and I hope it really helps you. Number one, you have to find yourself a local knitting shop, whether it's a place close to work or a place close to home or your family's place. You need to find some place that you can go and ask for help and really have a support system, because it can be a little rough for some of those for some people who have no patience. I have to be honest with you. If you have no patience, knitting is probably not the best thing. Or if you don't have patience, knitting will help you gain that virtue. So it's really, really good. Um, but not a Michael's, not a 99-cent store that sells rug yarn, or, you know, no, a Kmart. You have to find a yarn shop that sells yarns of different fibers from different areas around the world. Um, Preferably people that will help you. Um, Yarn shops sometimes have a have a reputation of being kind of mean. Sometimes I find that it's true. You have to understand that it's a business. Knitting is a beautiful, beautiful art form, but once you enter any kind of business, it's a business. You want people to learn how to knit. You love knitting, but you also want to make money. So sometimes, you have people who come in, don't want to spend a dime, but they want you to spend an hour or two with them, teaching them something. I mean, it becomes very, very annoying and stressful to the shop owner, or those who work there. So you kind of have to shop around and understand that it's a business. You want to create a relationship with the people that that you're asking for help. It's like anything. You just don't want to keep on taking and never give. So that's one thing. Find a local yarn shop. Introduce yourself to them. Talk to them about what you want to do and how you want to do it. Number two, go online. There are a lot of wonderful websites. Some are knittinghelp.com. Knittinghelp.com has online videos that show you different basic knitting techniques. For those of you who are visual, you think you can teach yourself. I taught myself. You can do that. You can check out stitchguide.com for different stitch, um, yeah, for other different like stitch patterns and different garment patterns. You can definitely do that. You can check out Knitty, KNITTY.com. You have online patterns from all over the world, from those who just kind of knit in their spare time or knit professionally. It's a really beautiful, wonderful resource for those of you who want to knit something but you don't have the money to buy a pattern. You want to try and start off by using someone else's pattern. It's really, really great. But use online resources, they can really help you out. Number three, um, when you start to learn how to knit, you have to be patient. Everyone says this, and then people are like, "Oh my god, I know I have to be patient." Or people say they can't knit because they have no patience. No, it's you have to be patient. Whether you're patient or not, you have to be patient, because once you get started, it's going to be a little difficult. Not even difficult. It's going to be like, you're always learning something new. When you learn how to walk, when you learn how to ride a bike, when you learn how to drive a car, when you learn how to speak, it's always a learning process. It's something that you just don't, oh my god, I want to learn how to walk today. It's a process. And you have to think about knitting the same way. So if you take a class, if you teach yourself, if you have someone teach you, just know that eventually you're going to be the little person go. I teach knitting classes, and people are like, well, yours is so neat and you knit so fast, and oh my god, I want to be like you. And I'm like, okay, you've been knitting 5 minutes. I've been knitting 8 years. You gotta give it time. I was the same as you. You gotta take your time, understand it's a process, and you have to enjoy that process. I actually enjoy not knowing something, having to go to a book and reminding myself how to do something or learn something new. It's so fun. So, so fun. So definitely take your time, be patient, know that it's a process that will accumulate over time in terms of your skill level. So yes, one recommendation I have to make for any knitter. I don't care if you've never knit before in your life or you knit 25 years. Use natural fibers. Use natural fibers. Please, 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 please. You'll never regret it. Um, some of the rationale for it is, I just started. I'm just beginning. I don't know how long or far I'm gonna take it. I don't want to spend like $20 on, a ball of yarn, and then I never use it again. I'm just gonna buy some crap yarn that I find at the local Kmart, and then if I like it, I mean, I understand the reasoning behind that, but I have to admit I don't think it's a good idea because one thing about natural fibers, and I'm talking about wool, anything that comes from the earth, anything that comes from animals, alpaca, angora, merino wool, camel, cotton, linen, anything like this, silk, it lasts forever. The process of learning how to knit is better because you have this beautiful fiber slipping through your fingers across the needles. It's not the same. You have some man-made fiber that squeaks when if you rub it against something rough. Like, you just don't want that. And if you do end up keeping the first garment that you've made, or even if it's a square, if it's acrylic, you throw in a washing machine, it's garbage. Your wool will last forever. You can create something out of it. Use natural fibers. Please use natural fibers. I mean, just do it. Just do it. Spend $8 on a ball of yarn. Spend $5 on a ball of yarn that is completely natural, and you will see the difference in your knitting. You will. In the pleasure of knitting. I don't use anything but natural fibers. I used to when I was younger, because I couldn't afford to buy, cotton silk or, cashmere wool, or, but I really, really, really would advise it. All my beginners use natural fibers. This is point blank. That's just what they do. Okay? So yes. The next thing I recommend is not staying in a rut. Once you get started, however you learn, whatever method and way you learn, you just need to not try and stay in a rut of just making scarves. I mean, there are people who've been knitting like 5 or 6 years and they've never not made a scarf. And I'm sorry for those of you who are watching. It's like, well, excusez-moi, my scarves are really nice. Yes, scarves are really nice. They're very versatile. They're great. They're easy. But they take a long time, number one. They do take a lot of yarn, number two. And number three, it's so monotonous. You do a square. I mean, come on. Move on. Move on. That's why you build a relationship with the local yarn shop, because they will help you. They will, if you support them, they'll support you. You can learn how to do a hat in the round. You can learn how to do a simple baby sweater from top down. You can do so much if you just take yourself out of the box of saying, oh my God, it's too hard. Everything is surrounded around those two basic knitting techniques: the knit stitch, the purl stitch. Okay, every single thing is surrounded around those two techniques. And as a beginner, you're always going to learn the knit stitch, and most likely you'll always learn the purl stitch. If you know how to do those two stitches, you know how to do anything in knitting. Anything. Okay? So, you gotta move on. You gotta move on from the scarves, honey. You gotta do something else, okay? That's another tip. What else? Yeah, I think that's really basically it. If you have any questions, if you want me to show you anything, if you have anything that is concerning you, please let me know. I will get back to you as soon as possible with as much information as I possibly can. Utilize your online resources. Find yourself a local yarn shop. Do not use acrylic yarn, okay? Don't stay in a rut. And know that knitting is a beautiful art form that takes time to grow like anything else. And I really, really hope you enjoy the process and the journey. Thank you so much for listening, and see you later. Tout à l'heure.